Terrell Thomas, Urban Times Live Hip Hop Daily. I'm with a gentleman that I can definitely call a good friend, family on this side.
Absolutely.
Artist, all around great brother. Goes by the name Nick Grant. How you feeling today, good sir?
Man, I feel good, man. Thank you for having me, bro. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm great, man. It's always a pleasure to sit and talk with you and get to see how you're doing out here in this world.
Likewise.
We're going through a whole lot as a nation, of course, with the pandemic that's taking place and a lot of social justice for change. But you've been able to stay very active as far as your music is concerned.
Yeah.
Recently, you put out a project recently. It's been getting rave reviews. You actually linked with another a producer, a gentleman, TaeBeast, and y'all released a very dope project. God bless the child. Talk to me about this project and how that all came about.
Man, I think we started this in like December, and I was like, I just wanted to release something because it had been 2 years since, my major release with Epic with Dreaming Out Loud. And I was like, I felt like I was one of those voices that people wanted or needed to hear. So I was like, man, I want to throw out an EP. So my content was a little more personal. And then January came and all of this stuff started happening. And I was like, man, it'd be a shame to not address a lot of these issues and use my power as an artist. And one day I woke up and I watched this Nina Simone interview, and she was like, an artist's duty is to reflect the times. So we probably had a 10-song project, and so around May maybe, I'm like, yo, I gotta switch everything. And TaeBeast is such a team player that he was like, yo, all right, cool, go do that. And I wanted to address everything from police brutality to them killing us in high numbers to, this pandemic and mental health and just being in touch with our history just as Black people. I just wanted to address a lot of those issues and talk about a lot of those things. So, I switched it last minute, and I felt like a date that was close to my heart was, I think Jay-Z dropped 626. So I was like, why not? And we put the project out, and that was that.
You definitely hit on a lot of key issues, as you just mentioned, what's going on right now. And I commend you for that, good sir. And I'll say, because throughout these times, we've heard different people saying celebrities shouldn't do this, or artists shouldn't do that, or celebrities should do this, or they shouldn't do that. It's been up in the air as far as people looking for voices and looking for leadership. So I definitely like that you stood to the forefront, because you are a voice. Even though you're a young man, you're a young soldier in this game, you speak a lot of wisdom. So people look to you, they look to your lyrics for peace. They look to your lyrics for relief. And when I first heard the project, I'm like, damn. I know what to expect from you, but you heard so much growth. Me personally, I heard so much growth from you as a man, and it was dope to hear you speaking on what's going on right now. Speaking on what's going on right now, how has it affected you mentally, as far as mental health and friends and families? How have you been able to stay sane throughout the pandemic?
Just staying in touch with family and people that are really close to me that actually know me. I felt like that helped. Even moving out here, I was so distant from everybody. So when that happened, the first 30 days, I thought I was like losing my mind or whatever. But just getting centered, staying prayed up, and not just getting wrapped up in my thoughts too much. And because I was always a guy that was just moving around all the time. So when you just sit down, you know what I'm saying, and you on social media every day or you watching the news, it's like you inheriting everybody's trauma. You know what I'm saying? So that leaves a mark on your spirit, and it makes it harder to move throughout the day. So, as a person that I just turned 32 on Monday, so as a person that's like, at this age, it's like I'm an empath. So I'm like inheriting everybody's trauma, as before I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is just another thing that just happens in life. This is normal. So I was like, one day something just clicked, and it was like, this has to change. And I became more wrapped up in how other people feel and how things affect us as a whole. So, and I'm still on that. And just in a person that's just a voice, I grew up like this. I would go to my grandfather's house and get game. My grandmother was born in 1919, and she raised me. So she's seen a whole lot. So a lot of the gems that, she dropped on me while I was living in her household, those are the most prominent things that stick with me to this day. And I feel like I have to address certain things and be that voice.
Now, one of the things as far as in the music realm that's been kind of keeping people sane, we've been seeing a lot of DJs doing different DJ sets and trying to entertain people like that. We've seen Verzuz take place with Swiss Beats and Timbaland. That's something that's been taking place and doing great things. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put you in a box, man. If you had an opportunity to get two of your favorite artists of all time, it doesn't have to be current artists that could sit down and do a Verzuz, who would you want to see go head to head and just drop? You know, of course we know it's more of a celebration of music. It's not a competition per se. But who would you want
Right.
to going, going back and forth playing some of your favorite hits?
Man, it could be dead or alive.
Dead or alive? Yep.
Whew. It probably would be Michael and Stevie. Those are like my favorite artists of all time. And I know like Stevie kind of helped Michael in his career in some aspect, but just to see that would be like dope, like legendary. Yeah.
I respect that. Are there any artists in the game? We hear a lot of cats with your lyricism, your thought process. We've heard cats compare you to Nas. We hear cats put you on a J. Cole. I don't try to box you in or compare you to any artist. But is
Right.
there an artist of today that you would like to possibly go head to head with, and y'all could just it might not have to necessarily be hit for hit, but bar for bar, line for line that you would like to go with and display your talents?
I'm like super competitive. So I'm on some like I really feel I know it's a lot of rappers that have more hits than me. I'm not the hits guy at this point in my career, but like when we talking about music, I'm like over the top, dog. I'm like, my energy is like I'm talking to you crazy. I know. Imagine me talking to somebody crazy, but that's just my energy in the studio. Like I don't know if people gonna be able to keep up with that because when I'm passionate about something, I just go hard, bro. I don't stop. So I really feel like I can battle anybody just off my presence and my personality alone as far as that, because I can always revert back to bars. I can always revert back to like those. Did you hear what I said? You don't have one line like this in your song. Like I can, it's a million things that I can say, even if the person is way more known or, has bigger records. They might win, but I'm not going to lose. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree there. I like that. I mean,
but anybody though, like anybody, I will battle whoever.
You've constantly been getting recognition from greats in the game, and you say it in one of your songs and shit, where it's like, now my shit bumping like a teen in the face. So we know how
Yeah.
you can dropping lyrics and punchlines for cats to pick up on. I understand you're working on something new, although you recently blessed fans with the project God Bless the Child. You're working on a new project as well while you're in LA. Can you talk to us a little bit about, give us a little secrets about what you have going on there?
Man, yeah, I'm working on this project. It's called NXCK, and that's symbolic of, the I being crossed out for every time somebody crossed me out in every situation. Whether it was in my name, of course, not to be cliche, but it's just my name, the name of the project. But it's deeper than that. Like, just coming up, they always counted me out because I was the kid from, that moved from project to project, and you 5,000 times. This is the actual number, 5,000 times more likely, to be dead or in jail. Just being from this place. So any place in the world that's like where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, just count it out in those aspects. Just count it out at a high level, like last situations, like, if he doesn't do this the right way, or if he doesn't make this hit, he's going to be, but I felt like I was the person that followed my heart. And if I could do that as an artist or in any situation, I would stand out. And I feel like that's the thing that gives me, I don't want to toot my own horn, but like the unicorn effect, like just this kid that's just always going to be around, just because I live my truth. And it's bittersweet because a lot of the music today that I'm a fan of, but I'm like, yo, it doesn't make me feel like what made me fall in love with hip hop. So me being that I'm one of those guys, I feel like that gives me a more solidified spot in this thing to kind of do what I need to do. So long story short, this Nick project is being counted out all those times, catching a case and facing 20 years and everybody, falling back on me like, oh, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Everything he worked for is over. So those little things, those little aspects. And when I came out here, I connected with Punch from TDE, and he was like, yo, you have like a remarkable story. Because I was the guy, like, I don't want to glorify any of this shit. You know what I'm saying? I want to stay solid, and I want to preach the other side of, you know, this life that I live, good and bad. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, no, your story is remarkable. You have to talk about certain things that happen in your life to kind of resonate. You know, it's not just about rapping and punchline, punchline, punchline every verse. Is deeper than that. You know, the greatest artists connect with fans. They talk about their life, you know, and the moment after that, it was, I get in the car and I hear Tupac, and his line was, and even as a, you know, crack fiend mama, you always was a black queen. And that line kind of stuck with me. It's like, yo, I know he cringed when he said that, but it was like so true. I know somebody like me and people that grew up in where I'm from kind of related to that. And those were the things. It was like a sign, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, you can't be scared to talk about anything that's going on in your life. So yeah, this Nick project is probably my most personal, and that sets up this album that I wanted to put out since the beginning of my career, Sunday Dinner. But I feel like this Nick project has to come first.
Okay.
It's a little more personal, and I feel like if I don't put that out, I'm holding myself back a little more in a sense.
Will this be a project where you'll work with one producer solely, or are you gonna reach out and get a couple of producers on this project? How are you feeling about the direction of this?
That's crazy. Shout out to TaeBeast, because I feel like we found our sound with this one. But I have records that I was like already in love with, but it's records that I've taken off that I felt like he could produce 10 times better. So, it's a few other producers, but I brought in TaeBeast to kind of help me figure that out.
Yeah, I know TaeBeast has a connection to TDE, and I know you're speaking about Punch and TDE.
Yeah.
A lot of work up close and personal in LA with TDE, or is that just something where you're in a relationship and seeing how things go?
I'm gonna tell you off air.
I respect that.
I'm gonna tell you off air. I don't want to shoot myself in the foot early on, but man, like overall, just good, genuine people. Like I feel like if I was to never like do business with Punch, or, you know, he would always be there to like just give me advice. You know what I'm saying? Just always tell me what's right as far as career, and as far as my career, and as far as just life in general and things that he's been through. He's not a person that hides the knowledge. So, you know, I'm privileged to be around that. I'm privileged to be around those people, and you know, hopefully they can say the same about me. But as far as like being solidified under that imprint, I guess we just got to see. We got to see.
Okay, I respect the hell out of that.
I appreciate it.
We've seen in as far as in the entertainment realm that things are trying to ramp back up. We've seen MLB trying to ramp back up. Of course, the NBA is back. They actually launched the restart of their season last night. What are your thoughts, if you have any, about players right now who are actually using that platform to speak up about looking for change and searching for change and the social justice that needs to be changed here in America and across the globe?
I love these basketball players speaking on that. I feel like, you know, when I see that, it's like you haven't forgotten about the people in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? So, and most of these guys that got this opportunity, they come from these places that, you know, we can relate to. So seeing that, it's like, man, that makes, I look at that and be like, yeah, I love that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you still have that lift as you climb mentality. And once again, you still have, it's not about you. It's not about you and being in this position and having money and having fame and all of this stuff. It's more so about still being connected to the people and still being grounded. And but more so, once again, that lift as you climb mentality means once you get to a certain spot, you pull other people up. Those things like that, those little things, I feel like are just as important as the big things to speak about. But and more so for me, just as far as them just being able to get back to work, because I know how that is, like just doing something you love. If somebody said I couldn't go to the studio today or tomorrow while I'm inspired or have the drive to play as it relates to them, man, I would be devastated. So I'm just happy for them that they can get back to doing what they love. So yeah, it's a good thing. It's a little awkward for me because it's like I'm watching the digital fans in the crowd. It's a little different. It's not what I'm used to. So when you see that, it's like, man, that's a big change. That's a big step. But, you know, that's going to take some getting used to. But as far as them getting back and, you know, them speaking on all these injustices, I love it. I love it.
Terrell Thomas sitting in, these urban times sitting in with the one and only Nick Grant. Before I let
Man.
you go, man, I want to know. I want to go back to God bless the child. Is there a favorite record that you have on this project, or something that stood out to you while you were recording it that you really feel like you speak to the fans, or that you're giving a piece of yourself, as you say you're going to do in an upcoming project, Nick, on your last project, God Bless the Child?
Absolutely. I said something in the first verse that, you know, somebody called me about. It was a super dope conversation. In a way that they could relate to it. It was like my granny followed the teachings of greedy Protestants. He passed the plate again, then I'll be nauseous. I'm sick to my stomach. They took the money, claimed that it was for the building funding, but the ceiling leaking, ain't no water running. So it talks about, you know, how we struggling and we go to church and we just give all our money away, you know. And I felt like, you know, I could be wrong, but it just felt like at that moment in time, they were just plotting and praying on my granny's just, you know, kind-heartedness. And, you know, I would go back home and be like, yo, we need to get such and such for the house or whatever. And it's like, well, God is going to bless me because I just gave this money to, you know, this church. And it's like, you know, if you got a good heart, God is going to bless you anyway. So it's just those little things that kind of related to my life that I felt like I just had to be honest about in certain situations that I had to talk about. And it could, that line, I saw that line being talked about more than anything on the project. You know, the punchlines and all of that stuff is going to be talked about. But once again, it's back to saying stuff that's going to resonate. And I could be wrong, but that's just how I felt at the time about what took place in my life. So at that moment, I just had to address how I felt when I was an 8-year-old kid seeing this stuff.
I think that's well said. I think just personally speaking, in situations like that, that's not you being wrong, because we all, how we come up bases our reality and our perceptions. And I damn sure I've always felt like that personally about the church. Like,
Yeah.
I always felt like that. They pray on the kind-hearted, and you'll go to a church where they got
For sure.
the church can fit 2,000 people, but the majority of the congregation is struggling. It's like it don't make no sense. It makes no sense at all. So
Yeah, so it's back to what Pac said, like, why God need gold ceilings to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can be in the comfort of my own home, and I can be in the comfort of just natural fellowship and still have those same blessings. So it's a lot of things that I just battle with at this age that I'm just discovering, and I have more questions about certain things. So we can definitely expect to like hear that in the music in the future, for sure.
damn sure looking forward to it, man. Once again, I appreciate your time. I damn sure appreciate your time out there in LA. I want you to stay safe, good brother. Know as much love on
Man,
my end and on our end over here. Let our
for sure,
audience,
bro.
but before I let you go, how they can stay in tune with everything you got going on, how they can check out your music, and how they can continue to get a glimpse into what you got going.
God Bless the Child EP. My Instagram, Nick Graham Music, at Nick Graham Music, everywhere, Twitter at Nick Graham Music. God Bless the Child EP.com. We update it like every week because we try to do something to keep the process of promote the EP every week. So yeah, God Bless the Child EP.com. Just those different things that I'm just in tune with. Yeah.
Appreciate you, man. Stay safe out there, and we'll be in touch real soon.
Man, thank you, bro. Thank you for everything, man. I appreciate you being genuine since day one, bro. For real.
All love, dog. All love, man.
My
All love.
man. My man. Thank you, bro.
Peace.
All right, be safe.